Good day and welcome. Today I want to talk about training videos, YouTube, and my channel, and a little bit of everything. When it comes to watching videos, and how you acquire information, well, man, I could probably go on for hours on this one, but I'm going to try and keep it minimal. But a lot of you, if you're watching this channel, are probably trying to get information on the cheap. For free, basically. I don't blame you. I've done it. And I've watched literally thousands of hours of videos to do so. And if you happen to know what you're looking for, it's possible to acquire a fair bit of information just watching free videos on YouTube. Now, unfortunately, though, anybody that has a cell phone that can take video and access to the internet can upload videos and say, hey, this is how you do it. And unfortunately, that leads to an awful lot of misinformation and a lot of very poor notions that people think, hey, this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about, but does he really? Well, might sound like he does, but, and again, then there's that, like I said, you can find the information if you know what you're looking for and you take the time to sift through stuff. There is information out there. Unfortunately, you kind of have to know a little bit before you know what you're looking for, which unfortunately means that a lot of people that know very little can very easily be misled. I don't know what to say more about it, except to be very, very careful. Now, one of the purposes of my particular channel on YouTube is not so much to try and show you how to do things, because I think that's dangerous anyhow, and that's why I've said many times in my videos that just because I say something doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Don't trust me. Don't take my word for things. Well, I hope I have an influence, but don't just point blank say, okay, he said it, that's it. I believe it. You can accept what I say, but take it a step further and do some research and at least find a few other videos on YouTube that agree with me, and maybe find a few other websites on the internet that have information that agrees with what I'm telling you. That's why I try and limit my videos to ideas, notions, concepts, mentalities, things that aren't exactly, this is how you do it. More like, this is the attitude you got to have while you're doing it. That's more what I'm about. And I think that is probably the most important thing. The other stuff, if you get the right attitude, you'll figure out what is and isn't right. At least I hope you do. So be very careful. You actually are not going to find a whole lot of really credible videos on YouTube as far as training videos go, because good information isn't free. It's like going to university and getting an education. You got to pay tuition. You don't get that stuff for free. You go to a trade school. You want information? It costs you. Nothing's free that's good. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing out there. You can, but it takes time, and then you're going to watch an awful lot of stuff that honestly shouldn't have ever been allowed to be uploaded in the first place. But that's a risk you got to take if you're getting information from YouTube. And like I said, you're not going to find a whole lot of really credible videos on YouTube when it comes to training. To find actual training videos that are credible, well, you're probably going to have to pay for them. And I have to admit, I have. Not a lot. I'm kind of a cheap fella, and I don't like paying for things. So a lot of the videos that I have watched have been free ones. But I have actually paid for some, and because I had watched certain individuals who were unwittingly filmed at clinics and such, and then posted on YouTube. So I got to find out who did things in a fashion that I thought was pretty good. And from there, I was willing to pay to actually view their training videos that they have. And there's a number of them out there, but you got to be careful even with those ones, because there's lots of guys out there that say, hey, you give me money for a whole set of DVDs and then come attend my clinics And, well, you can be a horseman like me, and unfortunately I've said in recent videos that it doesn't work because there's no one size fits all. I've said that a number of times, and there's lots of people that will agree with me on that. And even just recently I was watching a video on YouTube that was put up by another very good horseman in another country. Totally different type of training altogether, but it still had to do with horses. And he still made it very clear that when you have the same problem with 10 different horses, you're going to have to approach that problem 10 different ways. If you have somebody out there selling you a method that says that you simply do it this way and that's it, well, I'm afraid you're probably going to be out of luck because it's not going to work on every horse. It might work on quite a few, and it might be a very good method, but don't expect it to work all the time. So if you get guys that, well, especially the ones that are charging a rather large amount of money for the videos and then insist that you have to have their special halter, their special lead, their special training stick, things like that, all at very inflated prices, I might add, because I've seen some that you could go down to your local store and purchase for about 1/3 the price for the exact same product. Well, necessarily buying things online, that's not always bad either. Sometimes it's hard to get things depending on where you live. Certain products are very difficult to get, and you might actually have to order online through one of these trainers and pay a slightly higher price. Sometimes it's worth it though, because, well, I'll give you an example. I purchased 3 halters before I found one I actually liked. Well, the cost of that would have been less if I had actually ordered one online through a reputable trainer. I would have got one that was actually suitable. And in the end, I would have spent less money. Probably would have had a lot less aggravation. Would have saved gas driving to the store 3 times. So in the long run, sometimes paying a slightly inflated price, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but unfortunately, some of them will also tell you that you have to have exactly their particular type of halter, and they'll even go so far as to give their tools that they use special names for things that you can actually buy generically in a store for a fraction of the price. Very sad. But like I said, you are going to have to pay to get something worthwhile. You may actually have to pay money to get proper, good training videos. And depending on who you're getting them from, don't be shocked. The price isn't always ridiculous. I've seen some that were quite reasonable. Myself, I have put together, finally, because of pressure from a number of people, I have put together an entire set of training videos right from the beginning with a completely untrained horse to show you what needs to be done. And again, those videos aren't up yet, so don't go looking for them. And they are not geared necessarily towards exactly how you have to do things. I encourage people to experiment a little, find out ways that work for them, for their horse, in their situation. Because there's no one right way of doing things. I've said that a number of times. So, if you want to get good information, you are going to have to pay for it. But don't get fooled into paying a ridiculous amount of money for something that is one of those one-size-fits-all methods that isn't necessarily going to work, and at the end, you're going to be frustrated and broke. Don't also trust free videos. Like I said, there's lots out there. If you look for it, you sift through the stuff, you can find some good information, but unfortunately, you also have to know what you're looking for in the first place to get that information. And that's why I said, my channel is geared more towards the mentality. I don't necessarily, go, hey, this is how you got to do it to train your horse. I could do that, but I don't want people getting the notion that they got to do things a certain way, because that can be very misleading, and there's a lot of people out there that will tell you things like that. And, well, unfortunately, I don't want you having that kind of an idea. So anyhow, I guess that's my summary on YouTube videos, my channel, training videos in general, the ones you got to pay for. Even those vary. There's some that are good, some not so good, some that'll just take a whole lot of your money. Be careful. Take your time. Don't get in a hurry. The horse isn't going anywhere, even if you've already got the horse. If it means you spend an extra month or two looking for information that is adequate for training your horse, that's okay. It's not going to, the world isn't going to come to an end if it takes you a little bit longer. So take your time, look around, find good information. Don't just jump on the first guy you find on YouTube and think he knows what he's talking about. Because I can tell you, like I said, anybody with a cell phone and access to internet connection can upload videos onto YouTube and tell you that, hey, this is how you got to do it, and they might not have a clue. So there you go. Videos on YouTube. Be very careful what you believe, especially when it comes to the free ones. My channel, Wyatt, does not have training videos for exactly that reason. It is free. I want to steer you in the right direction. I want to talk about things other people don't talk about. And, that's the kind of stuff I like to provide for free. But when it comes to training, if you want actual training videos from me or anybody else, you are going to have to pay. And, good information isn't free. Just thought I'd let you know that. Don't think that you're going to find what you need on YouTube. And remember, if you like what you're watching and you want to get notified when there's new videos, click on subscribe. But don't just click on subscribe. You have to also click on that bell next to it. And, that'll give you a choice of a few different options. Make sure you click on all. Otherwise, you might miss out. Trust me, I learned the hard way.